Hello, everyone. It is my pleasure to be speaking with Gregg Garfield and AJ Johnson. We are excited to have them part of our Yaymaker speaker series. Gregg Garfield was one of the first in the US to contact COVID. His doctors shared he had a 1% chance of survival. And not only has he survived, he's been thriving. Gregg, I don't want to share your story. Can you share a little bit about your story? And thank you for talking with me today.
It's been a pleasure. Well, we went on our annual ski trip, European ski trip to Italy. And this was late February. And unfortunately, it was when COVID was beginning and we didn't know anything about it. AJ called me and enlightened me a little bit. We were definitely, cautious, but didn't think anything of it. 3 days into skiing, I ended up contracting COVID. We didn't know this. We actually thought we had flu-like symptoms. We then hopped a plane to come back to LA. Actually, we understood that we had the flu because we have 3 guys that were from Sweden that went back to Sweden early, ended up getting sent home from the hospital with a flu-like symptoms. And one of the guys stayed back that checked into the hospital the night before we left. And when we got on the plane, 3/4 of the way through the flight, we actually got a text message that said that he was COVID positive. I checked it. I quarantined myself at home, stayed away from AJ, got tested 24 hours later, tested positive. That was on March 1st, March 4th. I was so sick and then ended up going into the hospital March 5th, March 7th. I was intubated and spent 31 days on a ventilator, 64 days in the hospital and given less than a 1% chance of survival.
Wow. And you were in a coma, is that correct too?
A medically induced coma. Comas refer to the brain. It was definitely medically induced and I was out for 31 days.
Oh my God. Well, let me ask you this. I talk a lot about positivity, having a strong mindset. I can't even imagine what did you do to have such a strong mindset? What's your belief or perception when it comes to positive thinking?
I've always lived life, live it for today, plan for tomorrow, but live for today. And I didn't really know how strong that mindset was, but it carried me through. And not to mention my entire village, my family, my AJ, his family. And, it really kind of empowered me to succeed. And there was nothing, failure wasn't an option.
Wow. AJ, let me ask you too, when Gregg talks about a community, I know that you're with, Moss Adams, you kind of help with the culture of the company you've been a rock for him. What's your thoughts when it comes to a community and culture and having that positive attitude?
I think that community culture and mindset all together are all attributes to a successful future. I think that when you have a healthy space to communicate, a healthy space of support, a healthy attitude towards your day, waking up every day and deciding it's going to be a good day. I think, and it's not easy. It's not always perfect. It's not always easy. But I will say that when you have an overarching attitude of positivity and being mindful of your day-to-day, I think that it just sort of allows for a much more successful future in general, whether it be personal or professional. I will say that when Gregg was sick, our world was turned upside down. No one knew what to do. Nobody in the world knew what was going on. And suddenly, at the time, he was my boyfriend, and he came home and he's in the hospital being told that he only has a 1% chance of survival. And if at any time that philosophy came in full bore, it was then. And it was really just having no other mindset than we're going to succeed. He's going to get out. And no matter what, we're going to be positive. Those high vibrations, they resonate into the universe, honestly. And I'm a spiritual person, but really it makes a big difference every day.
Wow. Well, you guys are a beautiful couple. As I said, to say that you're inspiring is an understatement. Gregg, not only I know that you continue with your business. I mean, I know you've lost your fingers, but you're still skiing. I saw fearlessly. I don't know if I saw a video on Ellen or something. I saw a few videos I was watching, and I was like, holy, I mean, how quickly were you able to get back to skiing?
Well, it was interesting. My first motivation was to walk out of the hospital, and I succeeded there. My second motivation and my strongest motivation and will was to get back on skis by the end of 2020. And December 11th, that happened.
Wow, that's incredible. Well, I appreciate the time. I try to keep these short and sweet, under 10 minutes. I know we've been talking about different topics about resiliency, culture, positive mindset, overcoming obstacles. I do a lot of these with different thought leaders or CEOs and talking about culture. Any advice you have for any organization, family, company, when it comes to building a strong culture? Any thoughts on that?
Empower people.
Empower
people to stand on their own and to be allowed to make those decisions to move forward. And I succeeded in my company where my team actually carried the ball. Unbeknownst to them, I was removed, unfortunately, with the inability to even exist. I was, again, on a ventilator for 31 days. So I couldn't take a phone call. I couldn't, manage anything. And my team actually, stepped up and made it happen. We didn't miss a beat.
Well, I hope you don't keep missing beats. And again, we're excited to be collaborating with you. So you guys, again, an inspirational, beautiful couple. Thank you both for taking this time. We'll be talking very soon.
We're excited as well. Thanks, Matt.
Thanks, Matt.